Hey guys, welcome back to All Access Botanical Chat. This is Mommy Mingda, and in today's video I am going to discuss about transitioning from opioids to Kratom. This video topic was viewer requested, so please note that I do acknowledge every comment, question, and video request that I receive. So if you have any comments, questions, or video requests, please leave them in the comment section down below. Now, as a little disclaimer before we get started, this video is intended for informational purposes only and is based on my personal opinion, which is based on my personal experience. So to get started, I want to mention a very important fact about Kratom, which is that Kratom is extremely experimental, and the effects of Kratom does vary from person to person. What works for someone else may not work for you. It could take a lot of experimenting to find what works for you individually. So when transitioning to Kratom, especially from opioids, please keep an open mind. Now, I have a lot of chronic pain issues. I was in a motor vehicle accident when I was 16 years old, and I was a passenger in this vehicle that got rear-ended by a semi-truck. Horrific, right? Yes. So on top of my injuries from the accident, I was also diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So yes, chronic pain is a major issue in my life. So after my accident, as time passed, I eventually got prescribed opioids on a regular basis. And yes, eventually I got highly addicted, which was absolutely horrible in itself. I did try using Kratom to get off the pain meds, and no, it did not work. I did not know much about Kratom. I also didn't experiment enough with it, and I did not keep an open mind, so I just gave up. So then eventually I got put on 24 milligrams of Suboxone per day. Now, after being put on Suboxone, I realized it was the euphoria from the opioids that I was addicted to, and that they really didn't even help my pain. There is no euphoria with Suboxone, at least in my experience, and it did not help my pain whatsoever. It actually made me feel like I was in straight up zombie mode, like constantly. So I wanted off of the Suboxone. So this is when I realized I really could not go back to opioids, and I had to do something. This is where my Kratom journey truly started. Now, what I did was I tried several different kinds. I was mixing red strains, green strains, and white strains. Then I started blending all strains and types together. I never experienced any withdrawals from the opioids, but I will admit it was really hard in the beginning, since it was the euphoria that I was searching for. There is now a slight euphoria with Kratom, but it is different than the euphoria from opioids. After sticking to Kratom for quite a while, I discovered something really, really strange, which was I had been off opioids for several months, just using Kratom, pretty moderately using it. Then I got a hold of some opioids, and honestly, I was super stoked because it had been so long and my tolerance should be pretty low and whatnot. Well, I was 100% wrong. I couldn't even believe that I ended up needing a handful and didn't even feel it. So after this is when I went deeper into my Kratom research, and that's when I learned about how Kratom works in the brain. Kratom is not an opioid, However, it works in the brain similar that of opioids. So it just does not bind to the receptors like opioids do. So my point is that Kratom was basically blocking some of my receptors. So then at this time, I started realizing just more and more how much Kratom was actually helping me in all aspects of my life. It was helping my depression, my anxiety. It was making those things manageable. I was sleeping good at night. My pain levels were somewhat manageable. And also, it was making consuming opioids completely pointless. So here I am a year and a half later, still free of opioids and managing my pain and mental health issues perfectly fine, all thanks to Kratom the miracle. Honestly, Kratom truly saved my life. I mean, if I didn't get off the opioids, I probably would eventually have OD'd at some point. But so this is my experience. That was my experience in a nutshell on transitioning to Kratom from opioids. It's still an experimenting process with me. I still experiment a lot, and I haven't quite found anything super consistent yet. But for me, the key is just blending and mixing, and eventually you will find some type of regimen that works for you. So if you like this video, please let me know by clicking the like button down below. It will also help others find this video more easily. And if you haven't done yet, please click the subscribe and the notification bell. I upload 2 videos every week. This is Mommy Ming Da, the Kratom Mom, and I will see you next time.